chairs will come up and do a little presentation, I think. Please.
I think we should start with the selfie.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
All right, we're ready now.
Sorry to throw our back against you. Welcome back, and welcome at the closing session of the main part of the conference. So it's a tradition that we wrap up the conference actually before dance, because of course tomorrow there will be the challenge and the HR and RecSys workshop, and also on Saturday we still have virtual workshops. So it doesn't really come to an end right now, but it is sort of a nice moment to say a sort of farewell, because it's the end of the main conference. Do we have a clicker here? Yep. Oh, thank you. So before we're going to say farewell, we have a very good news. We are introducing our new journal, and Dietmar Jannach is going to take the stage to do that.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I would really like to thank the organizers for making this great event possible. And now it's my privilege to introduce a new journal for our community and beyond, the ACM Transactions on Recommender Systems. So we'll accept submissions from, hopefully, January next year. Yeah, you may ask, does the world need yet another journal? I think that's a good question. I think there are plenty of reasons to have a new journal. So most importantly, we think that recommendation is truly a multifaceted problem, as we've seen here throughout the conference. It's not only computer science, what we are mostly interested in algorithms and human-computer interaction, but also extends to information systems, e-commerce, marketing, psychology, and law. And historically, research is rather scattered across journals and conferences, and so far we have no journal that is entirely devoted to advances in recommender systems in its various dimensions, and which welcomes contributions from this rich variety of fields. So maybe I'll skip most of the history in the sake of time. So we started this like 1 year ago. We submitted an initial proposal. We got a great, fantastic board of associate editors, great support from the community. And here, special thanks also to Joe Constant, who supported this process and helped us a lot in the revisions that we had to submit the proposal. And right before the conference, we were informed that the journal will actually start, and with Lee Chan and myself as editors-in-chief for the first few years. Here's just a glimpse of the great editorial board, associate editors that we found so far. We start with that. It's a really a board of experts with different background, very diverse. We'll start with that and hope that we can grow that further once the journal develops. What's the journal about? We welcome your contributions, and only this can make this a success. So we are open for many types of works, in particular algorithmic papers, of course. We're looking at papers that discuss human-computer interaction aspects, the decision-making perspective, also papers that describe system architectures, implementations, works that analyze more the impact in practice, and finally we also look for works that look at methodology and how we evaluate systems. We had great workshops at this event too. Regarding paper types, beside these technical papers, we're open for survey papers that summarize the field. Industry is very important in this community. We're very open for industry reports, case studies, where we learn more in academia also about requirements and solutions from industry. We are open for reproducibility studies like we had the track here at the conference, and also reflective works are welcome, sort of opinion papers that help us move our field forward. Again, submissions will open hopefully in January next year, and we hope we can, with your help, we can make this a big success. Thank you very much.
think that's a great idea, Dietmar. Thanks for doing this. So, this concludes our main track of the conference. And we started with this message, right? ACM RecSys is at the intersection of data, doing, and dreaming. And we hope that as a hybrid conference, we are intersecting Amsterdam with the world. And I'm not sure how you felt about it, but I did feel connected with the world. When at particular sessions, at some point, a presentation from Asia was projected on the screen. Somebody in Asia was presenting, while somebody from the US, Peter Ruslovsky, was asking a question mediated or moderated through somebody in the Netherlands. And I think we're really happy that that worked, and we're really happy that that all of you helped to make this work. So we like to thank the people behind RecSys 2021. And to do that, there's of course many people. We like to thank you for being here. We like to thank all the authors for submitting papers and all the presenters. But we definitely want to thank the organization committee that made this happen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you those slides again. I'm going to read out all the names just to thank everyone one by one. If you are here, please come forward. We have a little gift, as you can see. And come up and pick your gift, and so everyone can see you as well. But I will start with our program co-chairs. Joseph Constant from University and Julian McCauley. They unfortunately are not here, but you already saw them on the video. Our industry co-chairs, Jean Garcia Gadwright, Bouke Huring, and Evan Aldrich. And Bouke is definitely here, so Bouke, please come forward. Then, of course, we have our tutorial co-chairs, Tatseng Chao and Alan Hanjalik, who are not here. Our late-breaking results co-chairs, Alexander Karatsoglu and Katrien Verbert, who are unfortunately also not here. And our workshop co-chairs, Jen Goldbeck, Dennis Parra, and Marijn Kolen. I think Marijn Kolen is also here, so please come forward. Our reproducibility co-chairs are easy to reproduce because there should be both here, so let's get them on shades. Paolo Cremonesi and Ellen Said. Our demo co-chairs, Ludovico Borato, he is here, I think, and Vicky Cookie is not here, but please come forward, Ludovico. Our doctoral symposium co-chairs, Christina Bauer and Pablo Castells. Christina is here. Pablo was here before, but he had to leave earlier. Our student volunteer co-chairs who did such a great job to guide all our student volunteers. Benedict Loop, he had to leave early today, so he will not be here. But Manal Slocum is here, so please come forward, Manal. Then we have Hannah Houtman and Alan Stark, and they're both here as well, so please come forward. They're the, forgot to mention, they are the publicity co-chairs, and you've probably seen all their tweets, and they also basically guided some of the student volunteers. We also did the Instagram this year. Then we have our challenge co-chairs, Walter Nelly, Bruce Ferreda, and Sakishora Kalori. I think Walter and wow, Sakishora are here, right? So please come forward. Then we have our sponsor co-chairs, Stephen Bourg, Sandra Garcia, and Linus Baltrunas. And the first two are here as well, Stephen and Sandra. So come on the stage. We have our women events organizers, Julia Neithardt, Özlem Özkebek, and Hannah Houtman again. Özlem, are you still here? Then it's not here? Okay. And Hannah is already here, I guess. Yeah.
Multiple roles.
We have our inclusion accessibility co-stairs, Cynthia Lim and Sole Pera. Sole Pera. Sole promised me on Twitter that she would try to Photoshop herself in, but Cynthia is already here. And then we have our proceedings co-chairs who also should both be here, Ludovic Koba and Noemi Mauro. Please come forward. Yeah, thank you. And to conclude, we have our local outreach chair, David Graus, and our web chair, Linus Dietz. Actually, David just became father a few days ago, but I pinged him, and since he is in Amsterdam, he could do a quick visit. So great that you're here, David. And Linus is here as well. So it's cool to see so many co-chairs on the stage, right? I think we have to make pictures. Should I join you? Or
Let's join.
let's join. Stop making selfies, Umberto.
Sorry.
Come here.
Professional camera.
Too many cameras. Okay, thank you all again. You did such a great job. So we got more thank yous to do. And the first thing I want to do is thank our event management team. There's a whole big team behind this conference. And of course, as general co-chairs, we're doing a lot, but the whole logistics and handling communication with ACM, and actually also our virtual hub, which was designed and managed by Executive Events. And there's actually 3 people that flew from the US to help us at the conference. There's even more people online, like Kate Todd and Brooke Daly and Jill Scuba. But I want to, if possible, if they're here, I want to have Morgan, Reagan, and Senika on stage, because we want to thank them as well. We were so happy to have them. And you can imagine when in early September the Netherlands said, yeah, we're going to ban everyone to travel from the US to the Netherlands. We had a little bit of a panic mode, but luckily everything turned out great, and we are so happy that they're here and helped us out to the conference. So thank you again. And then I want to thank the Beurs, this great venue. I just got some tweets out of our feed to show that we are not the only persons that love this building. It's almost 3 years ago, I think, that Marta and I visited here for the first time. We're like, this is going to be the place. Whatever happens. A lot of things happened, but we're still here. And we're happy to be here. I think we also should thank them for the hospitality and service. We had great food, a great banquet, so let's give them an applause. And I think a very, very special thank you has to go to the AV team. They're all in the back here, 7, 8 people handling the hybrid conference that we had. All from day one, people were tweeting like, this is really awesome. RecSys is really hybrid. It's so great to be online. And it's great to see how many people are in the back putting it all together. So again, guys on the back, really, thanks a lot. And of course, we could not have done this with the student volunteers. Was I going to? I'll give it to you.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, we had these people that were guiding you whenever you had a question. that helped out with the virtual part as well. And especially all the in-person volunteers, they're all in the back. They're wearing their hoodies. Please come forward, and we want to thank you as well with a little gift. Here you go. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, I'm helping you. There's so many of them, right? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You see? Where have you been hiding, right? Come on. Hope we, do we have enough?
We do this one.
Thank you again. So that's one empty box. Here you go. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And you already got one. Thank. Someone missing?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And of course, a conference without people in the conference would not be a conference. We are really, really, really grateful to the 1,119 people who came, watched the papers, interacted in the workshops, tutorials, etc. Thank you to all of you for coming and making RecSys great. Really. And to our sponsors, some new, some old, but all really, really, really good. I hope you had the chance to meet some of them in the venue and also virtually. You looked at their profile pages and you managed to learn a bit more about what they do and how they've been supporting the community throughout the conference. Thanks to all the sponsors. And now, we're going to answer a really, really exciting question. And for that, we have 3 people on site. Would you like to join?
Here they are.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
We can hear you.
Great. Yeah. Hello, RecSys community, and thanks for having us. Thank you to the 2021 organizers so much for all their hard work this year. The pandemic has been such a force for chaos that I think what you've achieved with the current hybrid conference is remarkable. The Delta variant and constant changes to international travel policies have not made things simple for you, and I think you've done such a great job. The 2022 general chairs, myself, Jen Goldbeck, and Vanessa Murdoch, are already engaged with planning next year's conference. We sure wish we had a crystal ball that could accurately predict what travel and in-person gatherings will look like 12 months from now. But we'll adopt an optimistic outlook and adjust our plans as needed over the coming year. So we're here to reveal the location and dates of next year's conference, along with a preview of what's in store for the conference next year. But rather than just tell you where the conference will be right away, I'm going to first offer you some clues to hopefully pique your interest in visiting our amazing city. So RecSys next year will be held in a city like Amsterdam that is surrounded by water. This city has the third largest ferry system in the world, carrying over 25 million passengers each year. It's a city for nature lovers. It's surrounded by mountain ranges, and if you were sufficiently motivated, you could ski and surf in the same day. It's a city that's known for art and music. Perhaps representative of this photo shows an iconic sculpture of a troll under a bridge, crushing a Volkswagen Beetle in its hand. The city celebrates creativity. You can visit a museum of popular culture to learn about and interact with all sorts of interesting stuff, from electric guitars played by famous musicians to Disney villains and Minecraft. It's a city where Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana launched their careers. It's a city known for innovation, and especially for technology. Some innovations that have come from here include the wireless phone, Doppler ultrasound, and the Kindle. The tech culture is perhaps represented by the office buildings shown here, known as the Spheres, one of the office buildings owned by Amazon in its downtown headquarters. Nearby are all sorts of companies that are headquartered here that work with recommender systems, like Microsoft, Redfin, Zillow, Tableau, Expedia, and Starbucks. So hey, it's Seattle, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. We'll be kicking off the conference about the same time next year on September 18th, and we are so excited to welcome you. Up next, let me introduce you to Jen Golbeck, another of the general chairs for 2022, who will introduce a few more details about what RecSys will look like next year.
Thank you, Max. So yeah, RecSys hopefully will look a little bit like what you're used to. We are planning for a virtual conference, so who knows what COVID is going to bring. This will allow everybody who's able to come to be with us in Seattle and hopefully reconnect, discover some places to have lunch, get some coffee together. But if you're unable to travel or if it's just difficult, there will be a virtual option as well. We are hoping for increased in-person attendance over this year, and we're going to go to what will feel like really familiar programming for RecSys, with a main single track and dedicated days for workshops and tutorials. The online platform will be similar to this year, and the idea there will be really to support access to the content, while the in-person conference obviously will have all the sessions that you know about and have a lot of opportunities for socialization and networking. In terms of COVID, we don't know what's going to happen. So we're kind of leaving it up in the air for now. We will say that Seattle's very vaccinated. We think it's going to be a pretty safe place for everybody to come. And we're going to follow the best practices in terms of keeping all of you safe at the conference. That may include vaccines and vaccine mandates, depending on the local laws at the time, wearing masks and social distancing. But of course, all of this depends on where we stand with the pandemic next year. So we'll keep you updated on those details as they come. I'm now going to pass it over to Vanessa to give you a few more details.
Thank you, Jen. So I just wanted to mention the venue. The venue will be the Sheraton Grand, and we will, it's a large hotel with a lot of space. It has, the largest room has a capacity of 2,000 people, and it's right in the heart of downtown. So it's walkable to many, many attractions, and it is a hotel that is frequently used for conferences, so they are a very experienced staff. So we are confident that it will be a fine venue for a hotel. A couple things about it. Let's see. First, I wanted to localize everyone for Seattle, because I'm not sure if everyone, is as familiar with the maps of the U.S. as we are. But Seattle is up in the top left corner. It's actually higher latitude than Montreal, so it's farther north than Montreal, which surprised me when I moved here. And if we look around a little bit, we see that Seattle's in the middle of this beautiful landscape surrounded by mountains and water. And it is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous place. So we recommend that if you have the time to spend a few days to do hiking, to visit the islands in the Sound and so forth, it is absolutely a beautiful place. So it's one of the few rainforests, a temperate rainforest, and so it's a kind of a unique landscape. This area was actually inhabited for several thousands of years by people before it was occupied by Europeans, but the people that occupy or that inhabit this land are the coastal Salish people. And they still live here. They're still an integral part of the community. And they shape the culture in important ways that we truly value. So zooming in on Seattle, the hotel venue you can see is the blue box in the middle of the downtown. And all of those red pins are interesting things to go see and do in Seattle. I included landmarks, but and attractions. I did not include all the coffee shops, all the restaurants, all of the music venues, all of the bars and so forth. So Seattle has an active and vibrant nightlife, lots and lots of things to go and to see and do, and it all walkable from the hotel. Finally, this is a picture of the actual hotel. It's a pretty standard large city hotel. This is the floor where the conference will be held. This is the main hallway off of which all of the conference rooms, so all of the conference rooms surround this large space. The conference rooms are configurable, so they can be made smaller or larger. Some of the classrooms have window spaces, so some of those workshops will have significant distractions if you're sitting over by the window, which is kind of a nice thing, or maybe a bad thing depending on the workshop. And then this is an example of a standard room. So what was funny was when I was looking for an example of the standard room, of course, they had pictures of the standard double and also the deluxe double. And as far as I could tell, the only difference between the standard double and the deluxe double is that the curtains were open in the deluxe double. So you just keep that in mind when you're booking a room. And then, of course, being Seattle, it has a Starbucks on the ground floor. So if you need a quick cup of coffee or a chai tea latte, they can hook you up. But there's also plenty of other coffee. So I do want to just remind you that just a block from the hotel is my personal favorite coffee shop, which is Anchorhead. But there are many other independent coffee shops in the area in case the line at Starbucks is too long. So that's it. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is a tourist video of Seattle that just shows a little bit of the city. So I'm going to go ahead and this will be our sign off. So we're excited about the conference, and we're really looking forward to having everyone here next year. So thank you very much. And we can start the video anytime.
Gorgeous. Vanessa, Jen, Max, we have a glass of champagne and we can't wait to see you all in Seattle. So cheers for that.
And let's toast on a.
Dear.
Let's have a toast on a great RecSys 2021 and looking forward to a great 22 as well. Woo. Cheers.
Cheers. It's hard to applaud when you're having a drink in your hand. We didn't think of that. See you all next year.
Cheers. Or proost, as you say in Dutch.
Proost.
Proost.
All right. So, tomorrow, we still have a program. We have the RecSys in HR workshop in the morning and in the afternoon, and we have the RecSys challenge in the afternoon. So for those of you who are attending, looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. For those of you who are departing today, see you next year. Thanks so much for coming.
Peanut butter.
What?
Peanut butter.
Remember, one of the things that is very typical of Amsterdam is peanut butter. There's boxes of peanut butter for you to take when you leave. We didn't give you in the entrance because, you know, some of you might be allergic. So take one, don't open it before you reach your house. Take two. Peanut butter for everyone.
But feel free to stay a moment to drink your.
Yeah, as well. Sorry. See you next year.
Bye-bye.